What if the Mughal Empire still ruled India today? No British Raj, no partition, no modern republics as we know them. Imagine morning news broadcast from a living imperial court. The Mughal Empire rose in 1526. It peaked under Akbar and later Aurangzeb, then declined, and the British ultimately seized power by 1857. But today, let's imagine an alternate timeline where the Mughal Empire never collapsed. A living court, modern palaces, imperial authority shaping over 1 billion lives. We'll cover why Mughals fell, how things might have turned out, and the ripple effects on world history. Start with how the real fall happened, and what changed everything. First, the decline, not a single event but a slow collapse. Part 1, the real fall. At its zenith, the empire dazzled. Shah Jahan's Taj and the peacock throne symbolized immense wealth. Then Aurangzeb. His reign marked a turning point. First, weak successors, emperors without vision or administrative skill. Second, regional powers rose. Marathas, Sikhs, Rajputs, carving autonomy. Third, costly wars, famines, corruption. The treasury emptied. External blows. Nader Shah's sack in 1739 humiliated the court and looted the treasury. European trading companies arrived into a fractured polity, the East India Company among them. The company played princes against each other, securing trading privileges that turned into political control. Plassé, a decisive turning point where political influence became territorial control. By 1857, the last Mughal was a symbol under siege. The revolt led to final overthrow. The empire that seemed eternal collapsed into colonial rule. Maps show the empire shriveling. Nawabs, Nizams, Marathas filling the vacuum. Decentralization starved Delhi of revenue and troops. The center could not enforce authority. Civil wars and raids brought instability for ordinary people. The British turned influence into empire, and India's fate changed forever. But what if the vacuum never appeared? What if the Mughal throne stayed strong? Turn the page. Alternate possibilities. Weak rulers, regional breakaways, economic strain, and company opportunism. The recipe for collapse. Part 2. An alternate timeline where the Mughal Empire never fell. Now imagine 4 plausible scenarios for a surviving Mughal Empire. Scenario 1, strong successors. 2, no British Raj. 3, religion and culture blend. 4, modern Mughal state. Scenario 1, suppose Aurangzeb's heirs were capable, consolidating power, reviving Akbar's tolerant policies. They reform the state, centralize revenue, and build a modern army and navy to deter foreign encroachment. With unity, battles like Plassé never hand territory to companies. Scenario 2, the East India Company is checked, private armies disbanded, trade continues, but sovereignty remains. State-directed industrialization uses India's coal, iron, and huge internal market. A Mughal industrial revolution begins. Textiles, steel, and manufactured exports flow under imperial patronage. Scenario 3, Indo-Persian culture remains dominant, Urdu, Persian in court, Hindustani in daily life. Architecture evolves, domes, jolly patterns, and charbagh gardens reimagined in modern cities. State-sponsored pluralism binds diverse communities into a Mughal Indian identity. Scenario 4, the empire evolves into a federal constitutional monarchy, an imperial diwan with 2 houses. The emperor remains a unifying head, while elected representatives govern provinces. Provinces, subas, retain local control over culture, education, and laws, balancing unity and diversity. A united subcontinent becomes a geopolitical titan, trading, negotiating, and projecting power globally. An imperial navy secures Indian Ocean routes, strategic autonomy replaces colonial dependence. Centers of learning flourish. The empire sponsors science, arts, and industry. Imperial symbols appear on currency. Mughal aesthetics set global cultural trends. India leads trade with Europe rather than being a supplier to empires, reshaping global commerce. Foreign policy likely favors strategic autonomy and development diplomacy. Daily life. Markets, languages, and festivals reflect a long continuity of imperial patronage. Historic monuments are active civic institutions, living museums, government offices, and cultural centers. These scenarios are plausible forks, each with benefits and costs. But what would the wider ripple effects be? A powerful Mughal state would have derailed British colonial expansion. The British century shrinks. The 19th-20th centuries become more multipolar, different alliances and rivalries. An indigenous industrial revolution prevents deindustrialization and makes India an early economic powerhouse. Without Indian revenues, European imperialism and the scramble for Africa look different. A strong Mughal state offers a different model of modernity. State-led, multicultural, imperial but adaptive. Language, literature, and art from South Asia have larger global influence. But would such an empire limit freedoms? Would it be a gilded cage? Or could constitutional evolution produce meaningful citizenship and rights within an imperial framework? The trade-off between order, unity, and personal liberty is the central dilemma of this alternate history. We saw why the Mughals fell, how different choices could have sustained an empire, and the global ripples that would follow. If the Mughal Empire had never fallen, golden age or gilded cage, tell me what you think. Comment below, like, and subscribe for more what-if history.